Friday, I didn't do this last week, so I'm going to do it this week. Friday night in the mag room.
All around the world you can hear them. Hey, hey, hey. Talking about news and kind of funny stuff. Hey, hey, hey. Mag room. Mag room. The mag room. The mag room.
Cisco and Muga,
Hey, pal.
Jared and Mark, tell you everything you need to know about everything you don't need to know about. We even got a couple emails in the mag bag. Your mom wanted you to make a mushroom suit for me and you. Said when you get your sewing machine back from repairs.
Oh,
You have a sewing machine that's in the shop.
yeah. Yeah. I use my sewing machine enough that it's in the shop right now. You probably wouldn't think that about me, I bet.
No, I didn't really know there was a shop for sewing machines either.
It does sound like something that would have been more of a, like in the 1970s, you could own a sewing machine shop. But
Back when the grip was getting everybody. Maybe you have a really fancy sewing machine.
yeah, I got one of those wooden Singer ones that you sit at, and
Oh, that's nice. With the wheel?
the wheel spins underneath.
The
Yeah.
foot pump? Oh,
Yep.
yeah, that's nice.
I actually did have one of those.
You did?
It just as a decoration in a house. Yeah.
No. So
20
maybe
years
you
ago or
were
whatever.
you were a sewer.
I do know how to sew. That is why I own a sewing machine.
You do owe a sew? Is this true or it was just
I
that's
really
not
do
in
have
the
a sewing
shop?
machine. It's really in the shop right now. Yeah.
Why is it in the shop?
Because I use it. Like I have certain pairs of jeans that I've had for maybe 15 or 20 years. And I just keep, when they rip, I
There's
just keep
just-
sewing them.
There's just all kinds of like sewing stitches all over
Yeah,
them.
just patched up and more, so they don't rip anymore. They're just really comfortable, and I love the way they feel. And if I really like something, I just patch it up and keep it.
So how much
Yeah.
does it cost you to get a sewing machine fixed?
I don't know yet. The last time I think it cost me $74. I saw the little receipt in the when I was packing up the box to bring it back. I saw the last receipt that I had, and it was $74.
What kind
I don't
of
know.
store do you bring it to get it fixed? What's the name of the store?
Laura's, I think. It's a sewing machine place. They sell sewing machines, thread. To be honest with you, I've never been there. My mom takes it for me because she got it for me. She bought it for me for Christmas.
You're like, Mom, I can't be seen at the sewing machine store.
No, I did go in it
Please,
once. Now that I think about it.
please bring my machine there. Did you go with her, but act like she made you come? Mom, why you make me go to the sewing machine store?
Yeah, like I'm Ignatius Riley remember him from the
Tom Sawyer.
Dunces, Confederacy of Dunces.
Oh,
Did
I
you
don't
ever
know
read
that.
Confederacy
No,
of Dunces?
I haven't read that one.
He's just this man child that he follows his mom around town all the time, and
Yep.
they get in fights. It's a great book, and you should read it. No, she just offers to take it for me, and I don't have to leave work, and she'll come out and we'll have lunch together. She takes the thing, and then when she picks it up, brings it back, we have lunch together.
So also
It's kind of
because of your flesh thing, has she been delaying returning the sewing machine to you as well? Or
I gave it to her this kind of is ringing true, Jared. I swear to God. Because I
Interesting.
think I gave it to her 2 weeks ago. Normally, I would have had it back by now.
I heard you ordered the T-shirts. We didn't talk about that last week, I don't think.
Yes, they are on order. I put the deposit down. We should have them. She said 4 weeks. She said it also might be a little less because our design was simple.
Oh, is
Yeah,
that a backhanded compliment?
I grabbed her by the throat and I was like, "What did you just say?" Yeah,
Do you
I
understand?
know exactly
I
what
own
you
a
meant.
sewing machine.
I will cut your skin from your body and sew you back into it.
All right. Well, the simple design is coming, and then we'll have some contests where people could win. All right. Well, that's exciting. I'm excited to see them. We're also going to follow up on from last week. We did the coolest person alive. Should we sing the song again or no?
I'm the coolest person alive. Did you think of any?
I wrote
lyrics?
up some stupid lyrics.
Did you really?
Believe it or not, I'm cooler than you. I am so cool that I'm like ice. You will know I'm cool once you hear what I do. I'm so cool. Believe it or not, I am cool.
It's great.
just has cool in it a lot.
Yeah, that was. Did it take you a long time to write that?
It was 3 days.
That's
I
pretty
canceled
good, Jared.
class.
Good for you.
I'm actually really strong at rhyming and fitting words to songs.
So you're
Right.
saying that right there, you consider that a really strong effort? What you just did, is that what you're saying?
I'm saying it's really strong for just writing it down and then singing it out loud. We're trying to go through this process. I'll remind our listeners to define what coolest person alive means, because we don't know.
I actually didn't know that that's what we were trying to do there. I thought we were just telling people that guy that week who we thought was the coolest guy.
Now we're gonna go through different types of what we think are coolness, and then at the end, I don't know.
At the end of what?
After like 10 weeks,
10 years,
we'll decide who's what's the definition. Maybe it'll come out it's us at the end.
Yeah.
So this was a pretty cool one though. Pro surfer Sebastian Studner was on his board bobbing in the waters off Portugal when he saw a lone monster approaching, steadily growing as it rumbled closer. He nodded towards his jet ski driver and held the tow rope tightly. Get me this wave now. The guy pulled him to the wave. He rode this wave and they videotape it. So I guess they measure them, where if they have a good video, they try to measure the wave if they think it's a large wave.
Like the height of it?
Yeah, and there's some disagreement. Measuring wave heights in the surfing community has been fraught, a kind of guesswork bolstered by a surfer's experience, with the unit of measurement often being the human body. Surfing community also has a notable fundamental schism in determining wave heights. The Hawaiian scale involves an estimate from behind the wave, which produces a much smaller number than a crest to trough measurement from the front. So this one was decided to be 86 feet. It was the biggest wave that's ever been recorded officially. I guess people say probably people have surfed bigger waves, but 86 feet, that's pretty big.
I saw a documentary called Point Break.
I don't think that was
back in the 90s
documentary.
And at the end of the movie, the guy caught this gigantic wave. He was in Australia, Bells Beach, I think it was called.
Yeah.
But there was like a perfect storm, like a
Do you think he made it?
In this documentary, they were chasing bank robbers. They were bank robbers and surfers. It was there was a lot going on.
I don't think it was that confusing actually.
But
he was a bank robber and they were trying to catch him.
But he ended up on a beach because he was running from them. And
so this is a true story, you think?
If I remember correctly, yeah.
Keanu Reeves is in it, so he was a really
you're right. You're right. It was just a movie, but that wave was huge. Remember?
But it could have been a true story. Maybe Reeves and who's the other guy? Swayze?
Gary Busey, Patrick Swayze.
Yeah, they all had a surf. They were part of a surf group.
They remade that movie recently, didn't they? I didn't see it,
stupid.
But
no, I didn't either. Never. That's a rule, a golden rule of Sisk. When there's a remake, when there's a remake of a movie you like, just watch the original again. Get excited and then watch the original again.
Mike Tyson remained the coolest man in the room after a crazed fan pulled out a gun during a Hollywood comedy gig.
Oh.
Iron Mike, 55, was taking an evening of laughs with friends when things turned sour at a packed rooftop bar in March. Tyson and a number of his entourage were in attendance at the gig, with the former heavyweight champion seated front and center. But in a shocking video obtained by TMZ, a random member of the audience is seen approaching Tyson and reportedly asking for a rumble. Witnesses report the man said he wanted to upgrade his status by challenging the champ, who recorded 44 knockouts during his career. After being asked to leave, Tyson alone by the gig MC, the fan reportedly threatened to shoot the stunned host and pulled out a gun from his waistband. He kind of pulled his coat aside and he shows he's got a gun. He takes it out and everybody starts freaking out. And Tyson does not bat an, the video is from behind, but he doesn't even move for the entire time it's going on. Gun was never fired. The man returned to the conversation with the boxing legend, and they eventually ended up hugging. You see Mike Tyson get up and reach kind of across the table that he's sitting at and hug this guy. And I just thought it was pretty cool to not only not react when somebody pulls a gun on you, but then end up hugging the guy at the end.
I always thought it was going to end with him punching him.
No, that's why it's part of the reason, because like 2 weeks before there was a video of him punching a guy in an airplane, right? I saw that too.
Yeah.
So I thought it was like a nice change of pace for him to hug the guy.
He's really into pigeons.
Yeah, he always has been. That was always
always like even
He always had pigeons up on the, like when he was in, where was he from? Brooklyn or whatever. I just remember watching videos of him when he was 20 years old tending to his pigeons.
For a guy who did a lot of stuff wrong,
Yes.
and then his life went off a cliff, he's kind of come back a little bit.
I think he's awesome. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, he has some sketchy stuff from when he was young, like
Of course.
raping a
Everybody
woman.
does.
He went to jail. I don't know if everybody has that. I hope not.
Yeah, but we also don't know. I just think it's always, you should keep an open mind. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not a cannibal. I'm not a rapist. I'm just saying.
What am I keeping an open mind to?
I don't know. Don't judge people. Don't you try not to judge people just by things like that.
By things they do.
Well,
what's
by
your
things that you just heard?
Really, what
that
I
they
want to
did.
figure out, we should start a new segment. What would someone have to do for Mark to be freaked out by them?
I have to see the terrible thing happen. I have to witness it with my own eyes to.
I see. So
I
if,
get that he was convicted, but nobody
Mike Tyson had like forced himself on your sister, you'd be like, well, and this was 40 years ago, 20 years. You'd be like, yeah, you just got to give him a chance. He's just a guy. He's mellowed out now.
I'm just saying, maybe
we
instead
hang out.
having
I invite
your
him over.
thing where
I
you read something
know my
or whatever,
sister's kind of weird about it.
Maybe you should have to see things with your own eyes to believe them instead of just believing everything you read.
Well, so what? Again, I don't know your standard though. I guess if your sister told you this, then you'd be like, all right, I believe it.
If it involves my family, it changes things, and maybe that's hypocritical, but yes. But I'm just saying, we weren't there. Neither of us were in the room when it happened. All we saw was a trial on TV and what people wrote about it. What did you think about David Koresh in 1994? We thought he was crazy, right? I think if you read a lot of the story or you watch anything about it, I think he was just a guy who had different ideas that people castigated. I'm serious. You should keep an open mind about stuff, not just believe everything you read.
All right. I guess, I don't know. I'm pretty anti people forcing themselves on other people. I don't know if that's going to change. So.
Oh, I am too.
I feel like he was doing that as well. So.
Yeah, as usual, you're oversimplifying what I'm saying.
Well, just the two examples you gave were men who forced themselves on different women. So.
Well, like I said, maybe you're just remembering what you heard.
Mike Tyson never said he was innocent, I don't think, afterward.
I don't even know the whole story. I'm just saying I try not to judge people.
He went to jail. He did
go to jail. People go to jail for things all the time.
We're getting into your full streak of freedom. I don't know if we even want to talk about that this week after all the things that have happened. Very politically charged. So yeah, hard stuff. So
that's where we come in. We keep it light.
I guess so. You're kind of stalling that a little bit with your.
You're the one that keeps pushing the button.
No, I'm asking the question. You brought it up. Like I just said, he had a tough background and that he came back, and
yeah,
that was it.
Yeah, I think he was down for a long time, and I think it's cool that he came back, and he's got scars in his history, but we all do.
I also had some cool words. They had a follow-up article on it. How about, you should know this one. I bet you know this one. Halcyon.
Halcyon dreams. What's a halcyon dream?
What you would wish on everyone.
A pox?
Wow.
Happiness, peace, love, happiness?
Yeah, characterized by happiness, great success, and prosperity.
Okay.
How about Jejune?
Can you spell it for me?
Jejune. Sometimes my
month right before
my stories are Jejune, devoid of significance or interest.
Jejune. Okay, that's our whole show, right?
How about this one? Popinjay.
That sounds British to me.
It's a good one.
Dish. It's a dish with potatoes and like jelly. Something weird.
A strutting supercilious person.
Strutting?
Somebody who's like full of themselves.
Yeah, that's cool. What was it? Can you say? Oh, Popinjay.
Popinjay.
I like that one.
Tinabulation.
Tinabulation.
Tintinabulation.
Tintinabulation.
Yeah, it's one of those ones. What's the ones where they
when you steal metal for profit?
Sound like what they are?
A noise of some sort, a tinny noise.
The ringing, jingling, tinkling of bells. This fits the last story. Mike Tyson showed Sangfreud in his incident. Sangfreud.
He showed.
Oh, but it says it's pronounced Sang-froid.
Sang.
Sangfroid.
He showed mercy.
Extreme calmness and steadiness under pressure. And then this one is what this show is about. Sobre Mesa. This is basically a Sobre Mesa. The mag room is a Sobre Mesa.
Sobre means something. Mesa means table. Sobre means under the table?
Nope, over table.
Over the table.
It refers to the time that people spend chatting and enjoying each other at the table once they have finished a meal. So I thought those were fun last week. So
yeah.
And we still have ass hat for
right. Yeah, for all you dilettantes out there.
The first Sisk is about vacations. I feel like you would like to go on this vacation. This was from a while ago, but I think you would like this. So this is you go on a dog sled trek.
I've done this before.
Really? So our dog sledding guide, the guy with the icicled beard, had already released 3 sets of dog teams hauling gear and inexperienced tourists into the Maine winter wonderland. It was my turn. I felt clumsy in my multiple Teletubby layers and a bit worried that I wouldn't remember the recently shared instructions about how to handle my team of dogs. As the guide unhitched my sled, he issued a final warning. Remember the brake. And then we were off. A sudden jerk, a crunch as I released the brake. Except for the faint hiss of sled runners on snow, the whole world went silent. 12 paws padded soundlessly on the snow ahead. The cold was even more intense in the darkness. This is when they were camping. We were suddenly starving. The dogs ate first, dry dog food and steaming chunks of freshly cooked pork off metal plates. Then we devoured rice, burgers, and whoopie pies off our own metal plates. Kevin recited a poem by Robert Service along with Jack London, one of the bards of the Yukon, called The Cremation of Sam McGee. After 15 raucous stanzas, it turns out Sam McGee from Tennessee could not bear the cold and was last seen grinning happily inside a crematorium's roaring fire. That's the vacation. Again, I figured you would enjoy that. You said you've done that? You did it overnight?
No, I've just been dog sledding for, I think it was like maybe a 2-hour trip.
Okay. And you did it yourself? They like let you control the stuff?
No. That's part of the reason it's a little almost like emasculating.
So basically you're just riding a sled. Yeah, but this was different. This person actually drove the sled.
Yeah. I read a really great book about that back 20 years ago called The Yukon Quest.
You're just dropping books today.
You should read this. If that article interested you at all, this book is really, it just paints a really cool picture of that landscape. There's a race, the Iditarod. There's an even longer dog sledding race that goes from, I don't remember the 2 cities, but like Whitehorse, Canada, and some other probably tiny little town in rural snowy Canada. It's just this long race. They talk a lot about the dogs and how much the dogs like just love getting out there and running. And some of them like will only eat, they don't eat cooked food, they only eat raw flesh. And the I didn't mean to go to and they also and then like they
just a really great story.
That alone should suck you in, I think. But you should read it, The Yukon Quest. It's a cool book, and that is I don't know that I could ever do a vacation like that. That's how long did it say they were on?
2 nights.
Oh, okay, I could do that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I would do that.
So what's your type of best vacation?
Skiing trips are always my favorite places to go. Not skiing, I go snowboarding, but I always say ski trip.
For the lay person who doesn't know what snowboarding is.
I think I say it just because it's shorter. But I like those types.
Every time you say it, do you then have to say you actually go
I make it longer by saying I don't actually ski, I snowboard. Those towns are always cool, little snow-bound.
Yeah, they're great towns.
With everything always smells like burning, wood. I love.
It's amazing where you are. Fire. Where you are right now is as far away from that as you
far away. I haven't done it since I got here.
Okay. How
about you? You go to islands? Do you go to mountains? Do you go to?
I do like nature trips. Like Michelle and I did a lot of national parks, which were cool. I would say my best trips though have been visiting a person, so the person knows the place in some kind of place that I haven't been to before. So not visiting someone in Milwaukee or whatever, but visiting like when we went to my brother's wedding in the Philippines and we stayed for a week on the island Iloilo, and they had a family that had a bakery, and the family showed us around, and it was just cool. Or when I went to Europe and I stayed with Ross, and he had been there in Barcelona.
What's the Philippines like? Is it real poor? Does it seem poor?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a huge range. I mean, a lot of poverty. This town, I mean, this was not the main town. Manila, we just did a stopover in, but it had a mall.
Okay.
So like you'd go.
Did the people live in a modern house?
These people were well off, and they had almost like a compound. Okay. And it was like a house and the bakery, and it was fenced off. Like you drive into their driveway and it'd be like a fence. Yeah, and your money went a long way. The people loved Americans too, which was great.
What was something you ate there that you've never eaten anywhere else?
What was the biltong? It's like an ostrich
cryptocurrency
thing. It could be these days. Was it? I'm trying to think if biltong was the thing I wore.
Ostrich eggs? Is that what you said?
It was some sort of egg. What was it called? Balut. That's what it was called. Balut. It's a fertilized duck egg.
I've seen that.
So like the duck is like half alive. Yeah, in the egg.
And I'm the weirdo.
Well, it's not alive, but it's like half duck, half egg.
Yeah, I've seen that on the Travel Channel. Was it good?
Not really, no. But yeah, that stuff. I mean, those have been the most fun. Like somebody sort of knows what to do. And because I've been to cities that people have said are cool, but I'm just by myself and it's fine. If somebody can show you and you see that. And I like just visiting people that I know. All right, so this story, I feel like this is a great combination. Remember, you've been bringing in those books, trashy novels? While pondering the best methods for spousal murder, the romance novelist Nancy Brophy wrote that her career as an author, with steamy stories of romance and betrayal, left her thinking often about killings and how the police investigate them. A spouse who commits matricide will almost certainly become a prime suspect, she said in a 2011 blog post titled How to Murder Your Husband. The wife, she said, must be organized, ruthless, and very clever. If the murder is supposed to set me free, I certainly don't want to spend any time in jail, Miss Brophy wrote. And let me say for the record, I don't like jumpsuits, and orange isn't my color.
What did she mean by the murder should set you free? Set you free from the guy?
Yeah. So this is the Susanna Hoff role. And you're the husband.
All right.
7 years later, Miss Brophy's husband, Daniel, was brutally murdered.
This is the author?
Yeah. Shot twice inside the kitchen of a Portland, Oregon culinary institute where he was arriving for work on a sunny June morning. Now prosecutors are trying to build a follow-the-string case to prove that Miss Brophy killed her husband with the same type of brutal cunning she once speculated would be necessary to evade conviction and reap the rewards.
Wasn't this the exact plot of Fatal Attraction?
Compelling gun components to avoid leaving a trace, attacking when no cameras or witnesses were present, and moving to collect on a series of life insurance policies within days of her husband's
She did
death.
Wow.
Right.
So
you want to hear some of the backstory here? So this will be part of the movie. So that's the setup of the movie. I assume start with the trial of the woman, but there'll be flashbacks that you're in.
Okay.
With Susanna Hoff, so it'll be in the. You're gonna have to play older because she's.
I'm impressed that you've already thought about the structure of the movie. This is
This
is good.
The Brophies had met in the early '90s after Miss Brophy, then Nancy Crampton, terrible name, moved to Portland and took classes at a culinary school where Mr. Brophy was their instructor. The two eventually started dating, so this will be like the nice, fun scenes. Building a quiet life in the Portland suburbs where Mr. Brophy tended to chickens and grew spices on a back lot of land.
Sounds this is like me? No, it doesn't.
And Miss Brophy dabbled in
chickens?
Yeah, and growing spices. I could see growing spices.
I'm not hunting humans.
Miss Brophy dabbled in jobs ranging from life insurance sales to romance writing.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Brophy never had much financial success in her writing, mostly pursuing self-published novels with covers featuring shirtless men and titles such as The Wrong Husband. My stories are about pretty men and strong women, about families that don't always work, and about the joy of finding love and the difficulty of making it stay. Skip ahead a little bit.
Okay.
So now here we go to the scene. So now we're back to the present day. Miss Brophy, they brought her home. The murder happened. She was grief-stricken, said she wasn't around, whatever. So they brought her home. So she directed them to a gun in the closet, said she had brought the weapon after the school shooting in Parkland, Florida, left her feeling unsafe. So she told them about the gun even. Other detectives were scouring the scene of the shooting for the surveillance video. There were no cameras there, but a nearby pizza restaurant had footage showing a small snapshot of the street outside. They soon came to a jarring image, one that caused them to rewind the recording and take another look. Early that morning, an old Toyota minivan that looked like Miss Brophy's had driven by the Culinary Institute. The minivan, detectives soon found, appeared in other videos from around the neighborhood. Prosecutors say it was clearly Miss Brophy driving the van. They arrived in the area at 6:39 a.m. at a time when Miss Brophy had said she was still in bed. It was parked on a hillside within a view of the Culinary Institute. And then again, 20 minutes later, the window of time in which investigators believe Mr. Brophy was killed. Investigators found more. In their conversation about the gun in her closet, Miss Brophy had not disclosed that she also had bought a ghost gun kit, a collection of pieces to make an unregistered firearm. And on eBay, they learned she had bought a slide and barrel assembly that could be used to modify the gun she had turned over to investigators.
She left a lot of clues, didn't she?
She did. That assembly was never recovered. Prosecutors contend that Miss Brophy could have attached the slide and barrel to her gun to commit the murder before swapping it out, so investigators would have been enabled to link the unique markings on the bullet to the gun in her possession. She claims it was for writing. For writing her book, her next book.
Buying the gun, she's going to write a book that involves details of one of those gun kits?
Yep, she had to learn about it.
Okay.
Prosecutors argue that Miss Brophy had a financial incentive to kill her husband. The couple had been going through a period of financial instability. Miss Brophy's lawyers countered she had bought the policies because of her work as an insurance agent, and she was not the beneficiary on all of them. In the wake of her husband's death, Miss Brophy moved to collect on policies worth $1.4 million.
It's not a whole lot of money these days.
4 days after the killing, Miss Brophy spoke to one of the investigators asking whether he would provide a letter saying she was not a suspect. The detective, who appeared taken aback, asked why, and Miss Brophy disclosed that her insurance company was making her provide verification for a $40,000 life insurance claim. They don't want to pay if it turns out I secretly went down to the school and shot my husband because I thought, hey, going into old age without Dan after 25 years is really what I'm looking for, Miss Brophy said in the recording.
Well, when you say it, it sounds super sarcastic. Maybe she said it more pleadingly.
They don't want to pay if it turns out that I secretly went down to the school and shot my husband because I thought, hey, going into old age without Dan after 25 years is really what I'm looking for.
Miss Brophy, you realize you are a suspect, right? I can't write that letter for you.
I just need the letter so I can collect on the insurance money. I have no reason to have killed my husband.
Do you not realize how guilty you sound 3 days after your murder?
I've written blogs about it, and I have 2 guns that I own, one that I hid from you.
The ghost gun?
But besides that, you have nothing on me.
So who do you want me to address this letter to?
Dear insurance agency.
Dear money people.
She was charged with murder 3 months later. And then the follow-up was she was found guilty.
That's a cool story.
Yeah, it was from the New York Times.
Now we should buy one of her books.
It was called She Wrote How to Murder Your Husband.
Wasn't the one called The Bad Husband or I Married the Wrong Guy?
The Wrong Husband.
The Wrong Husband.
And the Wrong
I wonder what her husband thought. I wonder what her culinary husband thought of her writing. Like, babe, are you going to write another book about how
much your husband sucks?
I really want to read one of those ladies' books now. I bet they're bad.
I bet you.
She was terrible at the crime, man.
Yeah,
like ordering stuff on eBay,
driving vans around where the cameras are.
I wonder if they just went on the. I mean, I guess that all is circumstantial evidence, right?
Yeah.
Wow,
is that the end of the movie? She really was framed. You're really still alive. All right, should I finish it off then?
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else.
I'm trying to think if anything else interesting happened in my life.
I don't have a very interesting life.
Usually you do.
I gotta start writing more Craigslist stuff.
Yeah, we also need some follow-ups on some of our stories.
Like what?
I'm trying to think.
Any specific ones that you were
Like you went to the strip club with that guy. Did you ever go again?
The only reason I went was because I thought it might be funny, and then I ended up hating that stupid segment. So I don't even like strip clubs. They're sad to me. I get sad when I go to strip clubs.
Have you gone to a human meatball party yet?
I would go to 8 human meatball parties before I went to one strip club. If anybody wants to invite me to a cool art party, I've never been to like a performance art piece. I would go to that. Maybe that could be part of our vacation segment.
Like your sister could invite you to one.
Lori goes to cool stuff. Yeah, she and her husband are kind of a power couple.
Does she back inviting you to stuff, or
do you think they invite me to anything highfalutin?
Or are you on the out still? Since
most of my pants have holes in the knee, as I talked about with my sewing machine. Most of the pants that I own have rips in them or tears at the bottom.
Maybe that's why your mom isn't giving you it back, hoping you'll just get some new pants.
Buy new clothes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll wrap it up then. I only have a week left of school. I'm really excited about that.
Week left.
Yep. Some grading to do, some comments.
So that means finals haven't happened yet, I guess? They're all happening next week?
No, classes if classes Tuesday and Wednesday, then the seniors graduate, and then the week after is like the exams. So,
is graduation a pretty cool ceremony there? I would imagine it is.
It's as cool as graduations get. I think overall they're not exceptionally cool.
I like those New England boarding school campuses, you know?
Yeah, it's on our lawn that overlooks the lake. It's a really nice scene.
Yeah, good.
Speeches. It's not too long.
Send me some pictures. Do you have a good, like, do you have an interesting commencement speaker? Do you guys get a big name or anything?
Usually they get somebody decent who's alumni. Last year they had the woman who wrote the Bridgerton. No, I don't know if you heard of that show on Netflix, Bridgerton.
Yeah, she went to your school?
Yeah, she wrote the books, I guess.
And they always get someone that went to Hotchkiss?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
They get an alumni.
That's cool.
So they want to make them feel good about themselves.
Was she good?
Yeah, she was good.
Yeah.
It's always amazing to me because they always talk about the person who was like hardest on them, how they made a big deal, and then all the seniors are thinking about how much they hate the person that was hardest on them while they're sitting there.
And then forget them as quickly as they can.
Yeah. All right, I'll wrap it up then. Theme song by Maggie Yellocks. Email mugaandcisco@gmail.com. Thank you for those who emailed. Please, we'd love to hear from our overseas listeners to just hear what's going on. And we didn't get any coolest person alive entries. Maybe somebody will send one in. That's it. So stick with the mag room, and everything else is cream cheese. Click. All right, I'll stop the recording.
Ooh, ooh, I like my groom. I like my groom. Ooh, ooh, my groom is good. My groom is good. Ooh, ooh, I like my groom. I like my groom. Ooh, ooh, my groom is good. My groom is good. The my groom's good. Ooh, ooh, I like my groom. I like my groom. Ooh, ooh, my groom is good. My groom is good.
Hero success.